What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of the season finale of Love After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 10. So this is the end of the season, and I was shocked because I didn't think 10 episodes was enough. I thought we needed at least maybe 3 to 5 more episodes just to kind of tie up the loose ends on some of these couples because I was left with more questions than answers for a few of these couples. But this is the end of it all, and I hope that they all come back for another season because I'd like to see how things turned out as they started trying to make a life with one another. For the inmates that were released, they were only out for, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks, something like that. I want to see what really went down with the heart and soul of the relationship, and maybe that they're all going to come back for life after lockup. So, Indy and Harry broke up. Indy finally had it because what else was she going to do? Harry wasn't even living in the same home with her anymore. Harry was living with his sister, his other sister, whatever her name was. He was paroled to Lydia's house, but he went to his other sister's house, and she moved from Maryland to Ohio to be with him, not to live with his sister. So when she realized, I guess, I don't know, because there was like a lot of stuff that was just unknown with these people. Like if he was paroled at Lydia's house, why was Harry living at the other sister's house? Wasn't he worried about breaking his parole? So I guess when I guess when Indy realized that he wasn't going to come back to Lydia's house, there was no reason for her to stay there. So she decided to pack up and go back to Maryland. So that's what she did. She packed up her stuff and she said something about, as she was packing up her stuff, she was talking about Coco again and saying something about how, you know, she didn't know how she was going to explain to Coco because Coco was acting really excited about going back to Maryland. And so Indy says, I don't know how I'm going to explain to her that Harry's not coming with us. Indy, you don't have to explain a damn thing to Coco about Harry because they don't know each other. He was hardly there. There was no bond or anything between him and Coco. Coco probably forgot about him. You don't have to worry about explaining anything. Coco don't give a damn about Harry. Girl, please. So she calls him and tells him, well, I just want to let you know that I'm going back to Maryland. And he's like, all right, I'm going to come talk. So he comes over and they say their goodbyes. And he's like, so you're really not going to let me say goodbye to Coco? And she said no because she didn't want him to say goodbye to Coco. Whatever, girl. Stop acting like him and Coco had some deep father-daughter bond. Stop. You were trying to force that man on your child, and Coco saw right through it, and she ain't having it. Plus, like I said before, Harry wasn't even around long enough to do anything with Coco. So she's back in Maryland. The next time that we see Harry, he's making breakfast in the kitchen and he brings it into the bedroom, and who shall emerge other than Terry? Now the funny thing is, right before Indy left to go back to Maryland, she asked Harry, you're not going to continue to see Terry, are you? And he said, no, I'm not going to see Terry anymore. The very next scene, he's making breakfast for Terry. So him and Terry are back together, or they were always together, I guess. And he's making breakfast for her. He never did that for Indy. And he says that Terry keeps him grounded. She's helping him get his life back on track. She keeps him calm. He says Indy always irritated him, got him all riled up, but Terry has a way of keeping him very calm, cool, and collected. So that's interesting. So when Terry goes in to take a shower, he goes into the kitchen and he takes his phone and he calls Indy, but Indy didn't answer because she was at that point in her life, you know, that fresh breakup where she was too mad to talk to him, I guess. So their little after all of that ended, her back in Maryland, him in Ohio with Terry. After all of that ends, we find out at the very end that Indy still talks to her psychic, and she has now started to answer Harry's calls. So Harry's one of those people that preys on very weak-minded women because Harry to me is like Harry's the kind of guy, as long as you leave that door open, he's always going to want to come in. It doesn't matter how what you want out of the relationship, what you expect him to do. He's going to do whatever the hell he wants to do. But as long as you leave the door open, Harry's always going to come in. So if Indy wants to mess around with Harry again, Harry has no problem with that. He'll take Indy back, she'll take him back, but he will never live up to her expectations. He will never be who she wants him to be. But as far as like, because Harry could tell her, hey, why don't you come back down to Ohio? I miss you. She'll be there in a heartbeat. And then they'll go through the same thing all over again, where she's like, you're not giving me enough attention, you don't love me enough, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, you don't want to get married. And then they'll break up, and then she's going to be mad at him for a couple of days, and he's going to drop her a text, hey, I'm thinking about you. And then she's back in Ohio again. That's the kind of guy that he is. Like, as long as you're willing to take me, I'm always here. But I'm not going to give you what you want. I'm not going to give you the kind of relationship that you're seeking. So he's a true F-boy in the true sense of the word. As long as he's got women around him who he loves the attention. This guy loves the attention, and he has a plenty of women who are willing to give him that attention. And when all of these women are gone, Indy, Terry, I don't know who else, there's probably another set waiting in line to give him that attention. He's just one of those guys. He's, I was going to say he's charismatic, but he's really not charismatic. But he just has those puppy dog eyes. He's just got that way of weaseling himself into a woman's heart. And he's got this thing about him where I guess the women feel the need to take care of him because Terry's trying to help him get his life together. Indy told her mom that she couldn't abandon him because, she felt really bad about abandoning him like he's some lost puppy. So he just has this way of like, I need someone to take care of me. I need attention. And there's women out there who are willing to do that for him, but he will never live up to their expectations. So she started accepting his calls again. And hopefully that really didn't go anywhere. But the way Indy is and how weak-minded she is, who the hell knows? Taylor and Chance. So Taylor and Chance, I didn't know that Chance was really good at arts and crafts because he was cutting out construction paper, shaping them into hearts. He was using glitter glue all over the place. And he made up these really cute cards that say, will you marry me? Because he plans on proposing to Taylor, and he's going to incorporate the girls in his proposal. I was like, come on now, Chance, with your arts and crafts. So he takes the girls, they pick up the girls early from school. They take them on a horse carriage ride throughout the city. The oldest girl wasn't having it. She just wanted to go to a fidget store and buy some fidgets. The baby burnt her mouth on some really hot coffee. I was like, why are you not giving the baby hot coffee? So they're in this, like, it's like a princess carriage and they're going through the city. The girls are over it, whatever. So then they get off the carriage, and then it was just so coincidental that Taylor was like fooling around with the horse, like feeding the horse something, and her back was turned towards Taylor and the Chance and the girls. It seems like it was all kind of like stagey, like someone told her, hey, Taylor, come over here and feed the horse and make sure that your back is turned towards your kids and your boyfriend, whatever. So the kids hold up their little signs, and it says, will you marry me? She turns around, and of course she said yes. He gave her the ring, and I'm not going to make fun of the ring. He gave her the ring, and he gave the girls a ring as well, and he promised to always be there for the girls, and he'll never desert them, he'll never leave them, and blah, 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 and she said yes. So that is that. Their little end notes are, I call them end notes because that's what I put on my paper here, end notes. It says that Taylor and Chance are planning their wedding, and I hope that we get to see more to see how all of this worked out. Raydeen and Rick. So Raydeen is telling her mother that she and Kay are married. She finally broke the news to her mom. We never got to see the father's reaction. I would have loved to have seen how her father reacted when they broke the news to him that she was already married to Kay. But anyway, she tells her mother that she's already married to Kay, and the mother was like, I can't believe that you got married behind our back. I guess because, her parents wanted to be a part of the process or a part of the event. So Radine says, look, we just really did it for like formality because I needed to be allowed to do certain things for her while she's locked up. And as her spouse, I can get those things done. What those things were or are wasn't revealed to us. So the mom was disappointed that, she tells them now. And so then the mom was like, so you're telling me that at the Thanksgiving dinner, you and Kara were already married and we didn't even know about it? And Regina was like, yeah. And so, the mom was really sad about that. And then the mom was like, well, have you told Rick? And she said, no. And she said, I don't want to tell him because if I do, he's going to, accuse me of just using him, which you were. He's going to accuse me of just using him, and I'm not, and I wasn't using him. I've never asked him for anything. Everything that he's given me, he's offered. And isn't that like what users say a lot of the times? Like, I didn't ask you to give me all this money. And then the mother says, well, you did take it. And you took it under the guise of being his woman because that's what he thought y'all were. He thought that y'all were going to be together. So that's the reason why he was offering and giving you all this money. So, it is what it is. So she says that she does plan on telling him. And she does. So Rick tells us, Radine contacted him. She reached out to him and she wants to meet up. And I thought to myself, how crazy is that? That the time that Radine reaches out to see Rick, it's when she's about to break his heart. Every other time, she never reached out to him. He was always the one chasing her. So they meet up at some restaurant, I think, and she basically tells him, that she is married to Kay. And Rick is like, wow, so it all makes sense now why you didn't want to be paroled to my house because you have a whole entire spouse. So she's like, yeah, I'm really sorry. You deserve better. And he's like, you bet I deserve better. And so what else can be said about this? He's like, okay, so, you're married to Kay. That really breaks my heart. It really did affect him that, the woman that he planned to marry was married to someone else. And Radine tells us that she's going to wait for Kay for a lifetime if she has to. But she says that Rick ain't going nowhere. He'll always be there. I just snap my little fingers and he'll come running. Rick ain't going nowhere. She says that she's not going to give him up. She wants him to stay in her life, and that he's going to hit me up soon. This ain't nothing. But at the end, they tell us that they haven't spoken since then. They have not spoken. So Rick is still single. He hasn't talked to Radine. So much for that. And Radine continues to wait for Kay until her release date of 2024 or 2036. And she's living with her parents, waiting for her sweet love Kay to be released. That is Radine and Kay. They haven't talked. Lacey and Antoine. This is the one that really got me upset. Really got me upset. So Lacey and Antoine, they went to go see her. They went to go see Antoine's mom for dinner. They had dinner at the house. So we meet Antoine's two sisters and brother, and we also meet Christy, Antoine's mom, her boyfriend. So they're all sitting at dinner and they're talking, and Antoine is on his phone. And the mom is like, get off your phone. You're being rude. And he's like, ain't nobody talking to me, so I don't know what your problem is. So he gets up and he leaves. He goes outside to the back porch. And so while he's out there on the back porch talking to Christy's boyfriend, Christy and Lacey get a chance to talk in private one-on-one. So they're talking, and then the mother tells Lacey that, Antoine is... he's talking to other women. He's got about 50 women listed on his phone, and he gives them good morning text every single morning to 50 women. That just seemed bizarre to me. That didn't make any sense. So every morning he sends out good morning texts to these 50 women. 50? 50. I don't know. That didn't make any sense. So Lacey was like, I don't know if this woman is telling me the truth or if she's trying to sabotage my relationship. I don't know. So on their way home, she confronts him about the 50 women. And he was like, it's just some miscommunication. I don't know why my mom told you that. And I didn't understand why he said it's just a miscommunication, because the mom clearly said that he has 50 women. Or did he miscommunicate that information to his mom? Like, I didn't understand. But anyways, he denies it. He's like, I want to be with you. I don't want to be with nobody else. And she's like, well, if you love me, you never show it. And he's like, well, how do I not show? How do I show that I don't love you? And so they go back and forth. You know, her whole thing has always been, you don't show me any gratitude. You don't show me any appreciation for all that I've done for you. So that's her whole thing. And then when they get to the house, Antoine is so frustrated with the whole conversation. He doesn't want to film anymore. So he takes off his mic, he goes inside, and later on we find out that they refuse to film after that. And so their little closing notes on the screen was that she's pregnant. She bought a new house and she's pregnant by Antoine. Lacey, you need to come back. You need to bring your butt on back to life after lockup because I need to see how this plays out. Girl, you got yourself pregnant by Antoine. He ain't ready for all this. Like, girl, really? Y'all, maybe this is what he needs. Maybe this is what he needs in his life. Maybe he needs to, maybe him having a child is gonna help him get himself together. But the way he acted and the way he was after being released, I didn't think Antoine was ready for all of that. I felt like Antoine needed to focus on Antoine. Now he's got a baby. Now he's got this woman in his life. Y'all need to come back because I got questions. Kevin and Tiffany, nothing really going on here. So Kevin and Tiffany, they meet up. We talk about their issues. They resolve their issues, you know, because she was kind of like, I knew that you were going to have other females while I was locked up. But when I came out, I thought you were going to get rid of them. And, it was just going to be me and you. And he's like, yeah, that was the intention. But then when you came out, you know what happened at the halfway house. And you came out tripping, by bringing some other dude there to help you, move your stuff. So yeah, I didn't get rid of nobody. So they talk about it, and then I guess they decide to reconcile. They decide that they're going to give this another shot, the two of them. Of course, she talks about her bisexualism, and they talk about having a third party into their bedroom or whatever the hell. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what y'all need. A relationship that's this fragile needs a third party introduced into it just for stunts and shows. So they are still together, but they have yet to find that third partner. Thank God. That's what really happened with Kevin and Tiffany. Not much. Chaz and Bronwyn. So Chaz and Bronwyn. He is taking her to no, they went to her friend's house. So her friend Courtney, I think that's his name. Her friend Courtney has been keeping her stuff in his garage. And now that she's out, he's like, hey, when are you going to come get your crap? Because I need my space back. So Chaz takes Bronwyn to Courtney's house, and Courtney is dating, I guess, her friend Jessica. So why couldn't she be paroled there? Anyways, so while they're there getting the stuff, Chaz wants to have a couple of words with Courtney. So they go inside away from Bronwyn and Jessica so they can talk in private. And so Chaz tells Courtney, hey, I've noticed that you and Bronwyn text each other a lot. And he's like, yeah, we're friends. And so Chaz is like, is that all y'all ever were, or was it something more in the past? And Courtney was like, nothing has ever gone on between me and Bronwyn. She has always been just my friend. We're only friends. I've never messed around with her. We're just friends. And so Courtney says, he's like, usually I'm used to Bronwyn dating, very like aggressive guys, guys who, know how to mark their territory, very like protective kind of guys or whatever. And so he's like, I don't know what the hell Bronwyn is doing with this guy Chaz, but she's gonna chew him up and spit him out. She's gonna run all over him. So Chaz tries to be big and bad and tells Courtney, well, I need you to kind of back off on texting her because I don't want her to be influenced. And he was like, what are you talking about? I'm not, are you calling me trash or something? I'm not influencing her in any kind of negative way. And he's like, yeah, but I really need you to back off with the texting. Okay, Chaz, whatever. And I was like, so like now he's really like extremely insecure, but he has every reason to be insecure. He doesn't even really know this woman that well. He's not really her type of guy. She has issues with intimacy with him. Yeah, he needs to be concerned. What he needs to do is just to get a divorce or an annulment and leave her alone and move on with his life. That's what he needs to do. But anyways, so he wants to be alone with Bronwyn. This is his last day before he goes back to Kentucky. And Bronwyn tells us that she has never been intimate with anyone sober. Not never. In years. She hasn't been sober while she has been intimate with a man in years. And so she doesn't know how this is going to go down. But, Chaz wants some alone time with her. So he takes her to a hotel. He bought her some lingerie. And it's very awkward to watch. It's very uncomfortable to watch. I didn't like it at all. And so they're in the bed, and she's like, very uncomfortable with him. And she's saying that she's never been sober while she's been with a man. So she's nervous about it. And he's like, you know what, I'm not going to rush you. I'm not going to pressure you. We can just lay here and snuggle. And so she says, I know you want to do more, because you're my husband, but I don't know what, she's just like, I'm feeling very anxious about it. She says that her anxiety is on 10. Then she says she starts feeling very dizzy, and she's like crying, and she just has a complete meltdown basically. And she says, I just want to go home and unpack my stuff. And he's like, okay, sure, no problem. I'll take you back home. So he takes her back home so she can go unpack her stuff. And that was the end of that. And I'm like, wow. I didn't know whether to believe Bronwyn's theatrics or not, because it could be totally legit that, she's uncomfortable. But I don't think it's for the reasons that she gave. I think that she is very uncomfortable with Chaz, but it's because this is not her type of guy. He's not doing it for her at all. She got married. I don't even know why she got married, y'all. I know why he wanted to get married, but I don't even know why she got married. I don't even know why she wants to go to Kentucky to be with this guy. There's no chemistry between them. She's always very awkward around him. Watching them together is uncomfortable for me. I don't even know why she got married to this guy. Is it because he's taking care of her financially? And so this was like a condition of him continuing to support her while she gets herself together? It just doesn't make any sense. That whole scene with them in the hotel room, it was just bad. I really felt like she put on a show because she just couldn't get through with it. I think if this was the kind of guy that she's normally attracted to, I kind of feel like it wouldn't have gone the way that it did. But there's something about him, I don't see him with a woman like that. I don't see her with a man like that. I don't know what these two people are doing. I don't understand why they're together. I don't know. But it was uncomfortable to watch. And so they tell us that Chaz is still waiting for Bronwyn to move to Kentucky. And Bronwyn's parole officer has not approved her to leave the state. And she is working on her relationship with her daughter. That's what she needs to concentrate on, is her daughter, not this relationship with Chaz. Kayla and Marcel. Not much to say here. She throws him a party, a confinement party. I think that's what it's called, a home confinement party, because he is still on home confinement for another 2 months. She invites a couple of friends over, one or two relatives because of COVID or whatever. And, it's whatever. One of the friends says that she's surprised that Kayla and Martell are no longer in their honeymoon phase after him being released after 13 years, because they argue a lot. They argue quite a bit because this is not working. This relationship is not working. I don't really see him as someone who's going to be in a monogamous relationship with Kayla. I don't see that at all. I think that he wants to still run the streets. He still wants to hop from woman to woman. He's that kind of guy where that will always be, that will always be an option for him. He will never have a problem with that. He even said so. He told his cousin Tile, He told his cousin that he's never had to chase women because he's always been the prize. He's always been the object of other people's desire. They come chasing after him. So the way that he is, with that type of mentality, like, yeah, I'm the prize. The women come after me. I don't have to come after them, which I totally believe. I 100% believe that women are throwing themselves at him. So how in the world is he going to be in a committed relationship with Kayla when he's got all of this temptation chasing him? How? I don't understand. Because for the normal average guy, they have to work at getting a woman. And sometimes they're like, you know what? It's just too much energy to go chasing women, so I'm gonna just stick with the one that I got. He doesn't even have to expend any energy to get women because they fall into his lap. And Kayla will forever be suspicious, questioning him, not trusting him. This is going to be her life if she sticks with this guy. And they tell us with them that Kayla wants to have a baby with Martell and she wants to get married. But Martell has no plans to pop the question anytime soon. Of course he doesn't. Of course he doesn't. But Kayla needs to leave Martell alone. Let Martell do what Martell does best. And Kayla, go find someone who's at that stage in their life to want to be committed. When this show started, when this season started, Kayla had hinted at the fact that she wasn't completely faithful to Martell while he was locked up. Whatever happened to that situation? That guy never emerged. She never really said much about him after that. Maybe you need to go back with that guy, whoever that guy was that you were seeing while Martell was locked up. But Kayla and Martell, no bueno. That's a no-go for me. An absolute no-go. But we'll see, hopefully. Anyway, that's my review for Love After Lockup season finale. Thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far, really do appreciate it. On your way out, don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, subscribe. If you don't, it's okay. Thank you for stopping by anyway, and I'll talk to you later.